Gracias, bonjour. How's everyone doing, lad? You know, it's funny. The last video that I did was actually an hour long, but I was driving and I was mucking around with my camera. And when I pulled over, when I watched it back, I'm like, bro, idiot, I'm gonna lose my license. But I was excited because I just got my green peas back. 4 years of not. Oh, what was that? 4 years, 4 years of not driving, and I've just finally attained my green peas license. Bro, blessings. And I was excited. I was like playing around the camera, but in Australia, you can't do that. They're very strict with driving laws, and to the point where if someone snitches and they see a YouTube video or like a content creator video of someone holding their phone, you can get suspended or even court fines for that. So I ended up chopping up half of the video, but yeah, anyways, that's the update. I'm driving now, so been a long time, but good things come to those who wait, but only the things left behind by those who hustle. Hey, you like that one, lad? Now, what was I gonna say? Yeah, bro, I still got about $17,000 I got to pay off to the government worth of fines, but don't worry, brother. No one's paying lump sums to the government around here. They'll be getting that in $50 increments per week for the next 25 years or however long it takes. That's a good thing about Australia. I like their installment plans. They let you pay off for a while. I think it's good because everything else here is bloody expensive. So at least it's one good thing over there. I hope you guys can hear me because I know they're playing music up on these speakers. Like, what is? Oh no, I already done that one. And make sure if you guys want me to answer any questions, just inbox them to me online, or even email it to me. Socials, TikTok or Instagram, and I'll get back to you because I'll write them all down in a list. Not the stupid ones. The stupid ones, like the dumb ones, I don't. But all of the genuine ones. Yeah. Anyways. Question 1. Why do you wear a big lady purse for? See, this is one of those dumb questions I wish I didn't write down. But for what it's worth, let me show you guys actually. I'm guessing you're talking about this one. Because I was wearing it like this in the other video. I actually got a good thing to actually talk about this bag. So I've gone through a lot of bags. And this one is on the relatively bigger side of bags, but I'll show you guys what I'll show you guys what I actually carry in my bag. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. That was dry, eh? That was dry. So I got my perfume, Invictus, just so I can smell nice everywhere I go. Chewing gum in case I forget to, but I never do. But I relax. Brush my teeth. I got an asthma inhaler on my house keys, bit of amenities, because I'm a little bit of a clean freak. Like everywhere before I eat, I always use this. And then also for chapped lips, I got dry skin condition. I got eczema, so my lips, they get chapped a lot. There's chewing gum. I got my license in paper form. That's the big pocket. Up here on the top one is just all bank cards. That's it. It's all bank cards. And here, you know what? In case you guys think I'm lying, I put all my stuff down here. Everything I'm taking out of my bag, I'm putting down in front of me. So, took all my bank cards out, everything, and then this small pocket is just pocket money I'll just walk around with. This is all coins. There's a lot. I always empty this out. But brother, it doesn't take long for this to fill up anymore. Look at that. That's $50 in coins right there at least. Nah, not $50, but that's it, lad. Look. What's that? Oh, another coin. Imagine imagine drugs fell out like bags. Nah, you wish, brother. Not me, lad. Look, that's all the zip is open. I don't carry anything else in this bag. That's literally what I carry. Now you can't carry all of this. You can't carry all of this. You can't carry all this stuff in your pocket. Like this is. I feel like I need all of this wherever I am. I need I need to have like just basic amenities. Call me a clean freak or whatever. And I like to smell nice. I'm a fanatic of colognes. I buy heaps of colognes. I think I buy like at least once a month. I spray the hell out of them. I got a pretty like bad nose. I think you guys have seen that, how my nose is always runny, but that's not what I was going to talk about. I was going to tell you is actually something else, something different. I was going to tell you is why I actually always wore this bag on the front, because a lot of people have different styles, but I actually had a bit of a function behind why I wore it, if you will. It's not more for. Well, obviously the bag is nice. These cost a fair bit. These Louis Vuitton bags, but if you're buying it once and that's it, then they are what they're worth. I think they're good leather, but I'm not really much of a brand person in clothes. I used to be. I used to always buy brand clothes, but I've given all of them away. Majority of the clothes I wear now is from Kmart, Target, and Big W. I'll be honest with you. I'm being straight up. 70% of my wardrobe is probably just gym attire, like your Under Armour, Adidas, Nike, and stuff. And then that 20% is Kmart, just for like casual wear when I'm at home or wherever. And then that 10% that'd be a formal attire, like your suits, for when I got conferences, meetings, and court. Got to look good for court. All the boys know that. But let me show you guys why I always wore this bag on the front. And I know it seems like a big lady purse because of how big it is compared to the smaller Burberry ones. But I actually had a bit of function behind this, believe it or not. So I got this a while ago. But I used to always wear it when I went out. Now, I've been through multiple occasions when I've had, like, let's just say confrontations with people wielding knives or weapons. And only one situation I actually got stabbed. Every single other one I was able to fend them off, or it didn't escalate to that point. It was just all barking at each other. But even through all these altercations, it never changed me. It never changed who I was. I didn't feel like I needed to carry around a knife in that. I still walked out the house barehanded everywhere I went. Everywhere I went barehanded. Me. I went barehanded. Not the people around me, lad. Don't get mixed up. Me. Now, the reason why I wore this on the front is because, as you can see, it's large enough to protect my vital areas, my vital organs. And this is stone cold leather. This is hard leather. So a lot of the shanks, the usual shanks that you can get from tobacconists and stuff here, they'll only go up to this much. The blade is that much. So if you can even stop just 50% of that blade and it's only entering your skin like that much, it's not going to do much if it, you know what I mean? And if you're built like Dwayne Johnson, and my missus is not here to stop me saying it now, if you're built like Dwayne Johnson like this, it's even more protection. But yeah, so I always had this theory. I had this theory ages ago that wearing this bag in the front, I used to walk around, so if I ever got into a confrontation wherever I was, as long as I was able to deflect that first hit, as long as I was able to deflect that first one, then I can come around from the outside and like do whatever, That was my mindset, I know you come up with some crazy concepts, when the street game brainwashes you, but then just out of habit, I just kept wearing it on the front. So believe it or not, that was why I adapted the style on the front, because a lot of boys, they usually wear it like this on the back. Now, I got rid of all of my brand clothes. I gave them all to my brothers, my cousins. My mum was heading off to Tonga, so I gave her all of my brand clothes so she can take it, because I don't really wear brands anymore. I don't know, it's just, I'm not really into it anymore, but yeah, that bag is probably the only kind of brand thing you will see me wearing, or like, yeah, somewhat something kind of expensive. But anyways, why do you wear a big lady purse for? That's done now. Are you worried about bumping into anyone? No. What's the worst mistake someone can make in the streets? There's a lot of mistakes you can make. Some of them I did myself. Some of them I learned from seeing other people do them. Like, not being a man of your word is one big thing. If you lie, if you're dealing with a lot of proper people in the streets, and if you lie, even if it's a small one, they can smell you, lad. They can smell your dishonesty, and that is not a trait business people want to work with. Even in the illegitimate side, people that are not in legit business and illegitimate business, people that reek of dishonesty is just, it's not good for anyone. No one likes to do business with people like that, and ultimately things can turn sour very quickly if you're not a man of your word. Yeah, a man of his word is very, very rare these days. So if you find someone that really, really like holds value to his words, like he doesn't just like throw out empty promises whenever he can, like, you know, when you're gonna go somewhere and then someone just says, yeah, I'll see you there, lad, I'll see you there, but they're just kind of saying that to brush you off, to like say bye, but then they don't come. See, that's someone that doesn't hold value behind his words. Whereas, and this is someone that does. Oh yeah, are you coming on Friday? Even though he's about to go and he's rushing out, I'm like, lad, straight out, I'll let you know. I don't want to make any promises, lad, but like, I'll let you know I might come, but if I don't, send my love to the family. Like, this is what a man of holding his word sounds like. You know, you're scared to slip up on your word. You don't want to just let it go like that. But a lot of people now, they don't know that. Like, a lot of the younger generation they're used to saying little white lies, and like, when you start saying those little white lies, they're like little increments that are digging into your soul, and then they ultimately become your character, you know? Another really bad mistake here in Sydney is underestimating anyone. I'll be honest with you, through my experience, it's probably one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen happen is underestimating someone. Now, one thing you got to understand is we're coming to a new day and age where, brother, kids, youngins are coming up, and man, these youngins are getting paid little to nothing and getting guns put in their hands and knives put in their hands, and like they're just getting paid little to nothing, like a week's worth of labouring work to go and do something. So back in the days, it was probably different. I know inside prison, reputations actually live up to what they are most of the time in prison. People are who they say they are, because you know what? You can't get around it. Everyone is there. Everyone is answering for himself. Now you have to be who you say you were, you know, whereas out here, it's a bit of a scummy business. Out here, people are just like people are getting kids involved and things like that. And reputations don't really live up to what they are on the outside, I'll be honest with you, like they were back in the days. You know, back in the days in the King's Cross and things like that, names actually held value and people respected it. But now, every kid is growing up and big names are actually becoming targets now, you know, because all these kids, they want to make a name for themselves. So and the thing about Sydney, like I said before, it's a forever raging war. Once you step into that ring, it's almost always you've signed your fate. I like to believe it's not, and there is redemption in somewhat way, but for the most case scenario, people don't forget things here in Sydney, and vengeance never sleeps. So what you may forgive today, your nephew won't forgive next year. You know what I mean? And this is the problem, bro. Like it's actually yeah. I don't want to dive too much into it, but I hope you guys know what I'm saying is to be able to underestimate one is a big mistake here in Sydney, because you just don't know who anyone is. You know, having a road rage here in Sydney is like you just don't know. I know it happens all the time and stuff like that, but through things I've seen, things I've heard, you just don't know who someone is. You don't know who's at his last straw. I think any man that's pushed to the complete edge is ready, you know, to pull it, you know. So it's always good it's always a good rule of thumb to never underestimate anyone. I know for most of the times in my times in the street, I used to always tell my brothers, like, even if someone came across as like a flop, or if someone was saying, oh, he's nothing, I would never underestimate anyone. So any name that came across my table, I kind of like I dealt with every name the same as if it was a life or death situation. Probably not to that extent, but I treated every single situation, small and big, as serious as possible because you never know. It's like a slapping machine. You never know which one is actually gonna pop off, and this is the one that's gonna this is the one that's gonna shake you. So I treated everything like it was like big. And some of my brothers hated me for this because I was always over spectacle. I don't know how to call it. Like I used to always be very skeptical of everything, and I would over speculate every situation, and but that's just how I was. If something will come across, and then I would like they sometimes I wouldn't get like they'd hate to get me involved because as soon as I get involved, then I'll make it big. I'll make it a bit. I'll turn it out to be something big. But that's just me. That's who I am. I never treated any situation small. I never underestimated anyone, and because you just don't know who anyone is here in Sydney. I'll be honest with you. Sydney is small. Sydney is very small. So this person knows that person that knows this person that knows this person that knows this person. Like everyone knows each other, and the thing is, it's a scummy game, bro. Like no one does old-fashioned one-on-ones. If they get the chance, lad, to flick that green light and get ya, they will, lad. They will. That's just how it is in Sydney. You either adapt and survive, or you just got to get out of here. Because it's been like that for as long as I can remember. And you know how it is here in Sydney. I don't know. It's weird. Like people don't like to face. People are afraid of confrontation, and I think this has a lot to do with ice. A lot of the gangsters on the street that are on ice, they don't like that confrontation. So they rather do the dog shots and that. They don't want to actually confront things like head on, face on, because it gets a bit too much. It gets hectic in your head. So then instead of confronting it, this guy will end up going and asking, oh, who's this guy? Do you know this guy? He'll start sending this profile to everyone else. Hey, do you know this guy? Do you know this guy? Who's this guy? And then once everyone doesn't know who this guy is, that's when he's gonna attack, bro. Because there's a lot of people like that here in Sydney that like they'll only attack when they feel like it's not uncharted waters. But like for the most part, once someone finds out that you're someone that's actually gonna stand up for yourself, and you're gonna hold up a fort back, and then most of the time, then they'll see what ways it can get resolved, or the elders will try and resolve it. That's what I've seen, maybe everyone else has different experiences, but that's what I've seen for the most part. Holy, 24 minutes, bro. I don't even think I have enough time to tell a story, lad. Wow, I can blabber. Oh man, I got a stitch. I just had pork ribs before this, lad. I was gonna talk a little bit about the situation. I broke my hand. I broke my finger and my knuckle. I don't know if you guys can see that scar. My knuckle was pushed all the way back here, and my finger. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's scars on my fingers. But this bone literally broke. It snapped. I can't dwell too much into the story, but long story short, it was at a workers' club, and I was banned from this club, but they ended up undoing it because I'm really, really good friends with the head security there. God bless his soul. But for all of those who don't know, I'm banned from the Star City in the casino, and I'm also banned from the Gold Coast Casino. I'm banned from majority of the main clubs in the city. It was just a ricochet, It was a domino effect. After the Cass was the first one that banned me. This was after the music started coming out. They put a gang affiliated ban on me, and then slowly it was like domino effect. Everyone started banning me, and they started, and then it was around the same time when the NRL players were wearing the 21 district jumpers, and then they were getting slandered for it as well. And then the NRL put a massive ban on any players wearing the 21 district jumpers when we first came out. And then even people that were wearing our merch walking on the street will get pulled over and they'll get taken to the cop shop. I'm serious. This is how bad that went. And for all those that remember how it was like in 2019, it was pretty bad. Like they were treating the 21 district jumper like bikie colours. They were treating it like affiliated colours. They weren't allowed to be worn in public venues. Like the Westies, like the leagues, anything, anywhere. Anyway, to cut the story short, there was a bit of these guys were carrying on in the pub, and was a group of them as well. It was a group of these boys, and they were pretty loud and obnoxious. I hope I'm saying the right word, obnoxious. Um, but what do you call it? They were carrying on, and me, I'm not that loud of a person when I drink. At least I think. Um, yeah, like it's funny. A lot of the stuff I did, like that, I actually didn't mention it. That stabbing incident, I was completely sober. I didn't drink because I had work the next day. So a lot of the boys drank before we went. I was pristine sober, and a lot of the robberies and stuff I used to do it sober. My brothers thought I was cuckoo, bro. They thought I was nuts. But when I do drink as well, I will just drink until I get slumped, and then I'll probably fall asleep on the couch somewhere, or like. Obviously, sometimes I get heated up if I get provoked, but I'm like a happy drunk. Well, when I was like on the piss, I'm more of a happy drunk, and I like to just laugh and kick back. I don't really like to delve into like talking about like soldier shit and warrior shit. Lad, I love to laugh with the boys when I'm on the piss. Anyways, I'm sitting there and we're watching the footy at this workers club, and these boys are just they're like, bro, they're so loud, and I don't know why they didn't get kicked out, because the security kept giving them like chances. But then I think this played a big part in later why the head secchi they undid my ban and they let me come back. But majority of it is because they didn't press charges, which I was, to this day, I don't even know. Like, if you're out there, lad, and you're watching this, let me just start off by apologizing from the bottom of my heart. I actually tried to figure out who you were. I asked the securities, and I tried to find who you were, because I wanted to, like, see you personally and say sorry. But for the most part, let me just tell you guys the story, because I think this is gonna go a bit too long. Anyways, the boys were carrying on and that. And if you are watching this, you were carrying on. You were carrying on a fair bit, and everyone was getting annoyed. People were like, I forgot what game it was. There was a footy game on. Anyways, there's this group of four or five boys or whatever it was. They were being pretty loud, and also whistling at girls walking past. That's what I saw that with my own eyes too. Anyways, they're carrying on, and I told them to shut up, I know, but look at this hero. Anyways, but they were going on for a fair bit before I told them to shut up. I told them to shut their mouth. And like before I said that, there was other like oldies telling them to shut up, but they they kept going, and they were kind of mocking. They were mocking one old man that told them to shut up, and they were like, "What are you gonna do?" Anyways, I let it off, steam off for a bit, but then after that, I couldn't take it anymore. I turned around and I was like, "Oi!" And then they look, I went, "Shut your fucking mouth!" And they kind of like, they were stunned, they were kind of like taken away about, like they were kind of taken aback about, like, bro, what just happened? And then they all looked onto the table, and it's like they kind of were like, they went quiet. They're like looking at each other, and I'm just looking at them to see, because I thought they were going to say something back to me. And by this time, I was already revved up. My fists were like just like I was like clenched, and at this, but I was by myself. Like I was ready to face all of them by myself. I think I was having too many peas. Anyways, nothing happened. Nothing happened, lad. I was staring at them, and they actually went quiet. Anyways, I finished my whole beer cup, and I got up to go toilet. And as I went to toilet, I went to go chuck a itchay. Chuck a itchay. If anyone knows what I mean, I went to go chuck a itchay. So I went in the cubicle anyway, I closed the door. And I was sitting there. Anyways, I heard them all come in. And then they started like hollering and barking in the toilet, and like carrying on like loud as. And by this time, the sec is giving them multiple warnings, bro. Anyways, the stores were all taken, so they're knocking on all the stores, and I'm in the last one, yeah. So I think two of them were in the stores, and they were there to chuck a shit as well. So I can hear them like unzipping their bags, and then like, oh yeah, make me a big one. Anyway, one of them is bangs on my door, and he's like, "Who's here?" And I'm like, yo, and he's like, hurry the F up. And I was like, wrong person today, boy. This is my thought. Because I was smiling. I still remember. It's almost like I was happy about it. Fucking dickhead. It's almost like I was happy about it. I'm like, touch my door again and you see what happens. And he's like, what? Anyway, I put my bag down. I opened the cubicle. And it's the same guy that I told to shut up in the beginning, Ranger. I think he was Aussie, but he's a tall fella. He was a tall fella, probably more on like thick, like my size, but more of just like not like muscly. Not that I'm muscly, but like it was just like a thick guy. Anyways, I opened the door and like I didn't even let him say anything. I was ready. I opened the door and as soon as I opened the door, I saw him and I just put one foot out and walked out. Whack! I just whacked him. As soon as I came out, I looked up, just whack! Straight to his mouth. And I remember his face was like this. This was his head. His head was like this. And his body just like it slumped down. Now, when he fell, I was raging like I was raging it like I kind of blacked out. Like I don't know how many beers I sunk in by this time, but I remember uppercutting someone. I remember uppercutting because his mates were coming in. I don't know if they were trying to jump me or pull him off, but I was just kind of like swinging everywhere. And I remember I hit one of them and their head hit the cubicle door. And I remember grabbing the back of the shirt. Now I got two of them I think were holding me on the back and like trying to pull me. But I remember uppercutting someone. And I don't know because like the cubicles are very small. So I hit him on the outside, but we got pushed and shoved and we ended up in the cubicle. Anyways, I remember holding someone's hair or shirt in front of me, and I just remember whacking, like uppercutting, and I remember my hand was numb. All I remember was my hand was numb. Now I don't know if I ended up hitting the door or the lock or his forehead, but I remember I put a good number on one of them because his face was all like he was in a bad way, you know. He was in a bad way, but anyways, there was blood, and I thought it was from him, but majority of it was from my hand. So while all of this was happening, all this scuffling, I remember after I hit the first guy, and then we were getting pushing and shoving. I was hitting the second guy. I don't know if the second guy was still the first guy because everything was just kind of a blur. But I do remember just like going, hey, yeah, hey. I remember doing that. And the securities ended up coming in. They must have heard the commotion from outside, or maybe someone called them to come in. Anyways, when he came in, they pulled us all off. Now, everything was a big blur because I remember I was off my head. And I just remember being worried about my drugs being found. So I was just trying to I was trying to de-escalate the situation. I was just like, bro, they were trying to jump me. I was talking shit out of my mouth. They weren't trying to jump me. The first one was being a bit of a knob when he was banging on the door, but they weren't trying to jump me. I'm pretty sure that the other two fellas were trying to pull me off. I'm pretty sure. It was just me. It was just my rage and it was my arrogance, pretty much. I wish I got fucking lifted, bro. Because I look back at it now and I think, bro, what a little shit, you know? What a little gota. And anyway, I remember seeing blood dripping off my hands and I started to get scared because I thought that it was from him. But anyway, after they got escorted and they got left out, and I know that the security was a bit happy, bro. He was a bit happy because I did what they wanted to do the whole night. And because there was all of them and it was only me, like they could have it wasn't a thing where like they can really blame it on me, if that makes sense. Even though I was the aggressor, but like because they were carrying on all night, it was kind of something that they let it go. I actually thought I was going to get arrested that night. I was pissing myself, bro. I thought I was going to get arrested. I was scared. I remember messaging my missus and just saying, fuck, I'm sorry. I remember, bro. Wow. Oh, my face is getting hot. Anyways, when the blood was dripping off and I thought it was him, but I looked at my hand and it was me. Oh. it was me. my my hand was like my finger. Which one? This one. This finger was like it was like a banana. It was like caved in, and this knuckle was all the way here. So, like you could see the bone on this finger. It was actually crazy. I must have been like racked off my head or something, or like really really drunk to because my hand was just numb, and my left hand didn't have much of anything. So I remember I went to Westmead. I went to Westmead Hospital. I actually went to Westmead Hospital the next morning. So I ended up going out, and the securities they were going to ban me and whatever. And we talked to the manager, and the head security was just like, "Listen, this guy was actually he was actually being like good the whole night, and he lied to them. He actually told them what I said, like." I was getting jumped, which wasn't the case. He wasn't there, but he told the manager that he saw them trying to jump in the toilet. But yeah, anyways, those boys ended up just leaving. And I thought that they would end up pressing charges because they were all Bailangis. Not that Bailangis like snitch, but I just thought that like I'm just always used to, like through my whole juvie days, I was always the person that was going to get in trouble in any fight that I had. So I thought I was going to get trouble in band, and I had like bags on me. It was just a messy night, bro. The whole very, very messy night. But it ended up getting sorted, but no police came. So I was like, what the hell? So then I just went and I started slapping. I just slapped until the bloody place closed. The place closed at 6 a.m. I walked home. I went to sleep, and then when I woke up, that's when I went to the hospital. I went to hospital the next day. I remember the doctor said to me telling the doctor that, because the doctor's like, why is the blood dried up? And I go, oh, this happened last night. And he's like, what's wrong with you? And I go, what can I say? And then I actually saw one of my, I saw a friend that I used to go high school with a long time ago, and it was actually, so she was in my year, but she's the missus of a really really good Islander friend of mine. But yeah, so he's a doctor. I think he's a doctor or a nurse, and then his missus became a doctor or nurse as well. A nurse at Westmead. So they were both probably, I know, whoever went to school with me, you know who I'm talking about, bro. This bloke, I'm going to shout him out, Folio, bro. This guy, smartest guy, bro, and he's the funniest guy, kindest heart as well. So his missus saw me at the Westmead Hospital when I was getting treated for my hand. And I remember being so embarrassed because, I don't know, when it's like when you see someone from church or someone from back home when you're in your gangster days, and you kind of just like, oh, fuck, I don't want to be here. Like, you don't even want them to see your face, So, and then, she was just like, what happened to you? And I was just like, no, long story. But yeah, anyways, long story short, I'm going to link that picture of what my hand looked like. I slowly went back to gym, and I had these like little straps on my arm, so I can still do like some like little cable pulls and stuff. But yeah, I still talk to that security to this day. I still talk to him to this day. So it's I thought that was a bit of a more of a funny story than like a useful story, if anything. But I think for me, like that was the last physical altercation I ever been from. Like, for me, that scared the shit out of me, bro. Because I thought I was gonna get like they don't muck around with assault. Not assault. What's it called? GBH and ABH here in Australia, especially if you come from an ethnic background. Brother, you got to learn to be the bigger person and just walk away from every situation. Just don't like. No one needs to know you're tough. If you know who you are, you know what you're capable of, lad. Leave it, lad. Just leave it, lad. Be the bigger person, lad, and just tell them. But this is why overall I stopped going out, because I always found myself getting in trouble. I don't know if you guys remember One World back in the day. Bro, after every single night out, we used to have a brawl at One World. And then even the Mill was the last club I ever went to, close by the Mill Para in Bankstown. I went there and I got banned from there. after a fight outside in the car park, and I think that's what made me lose the taste for clubbing and that. I've never even been to a rave as well. So when I say I'm old fashioned, even though I'm young, I'm really like, I lived my party years when I was under 18. I used to sneak into clubs with my older brothers, ID and stuff like that. But yeah, this weekend is Father's Day, so I just wanted to share a bit of love and blessings to all you young fathers out there, and let you know that I'm here with you, and we're doing this thing together. I remember when I had my first kid, my missus' parents were petrified because they thought I was going to be a statistic like all my other mates when they were 17, 18 years old. You know, of course they're going to run away. But I was raised to face everything head on and take everything on the chin like a man. And that is what I'll be teaching my kids as well. When you do something, you deal with it like a man. You don't run away. That's like a little kid. You don't run away. So you got to deal with everything. And I remember even my missus was so frantic about how our lives would end up because she was so young as well. My missus actually was a cheerleader for the Bulldogs, and she had a singing career. She was actually a model in Bankstown as well. They still have her photo up on the big portraits. I'll link it here if she lets me. If this is not linked, then that means she didn't let me. But yeah, she had a very promising career. And then when I got her pregnant, she was like broken, bro. She was in a lot of pieces because I'm 3 years younger than her. So she was like, bro, what am I going to do? And, you know, I was like a little like wannabe gangster, or if you want to call it, at that time when we were dating. But I took her hand and I said, hey, I promise you, I'm going to give you the life that you never ever dreamt of. And then all of her cousins and her sisters and that, they didn't see this coming, like the big life that I had ahead for us, where, you know, where we are now, the way that, like, the position that I've put her in now is probably one of the best financial successes I can ever dream of, because I've always wanted to be that kind of man where my missus used to work when we were dating, and then once she fell pregnant, I force-fueled my way to start my first construction business when I was 18. That was that iron formwork business that I started. And I just kind of like the position I was in my life, it just, all my circumstances forced me into manhood, because I didn't want to be like everyone else and just, you know, resort to running away. I wanted to deal with it like a man, even if it was going to be hard. So, and I did, you know, slowly but surely, even through a lot of the tests, trials and tribulations, obviously with the street game and prison and things like that. I never failed to see a vision other than that of providing for her and, you know, kids. So, we've come a long way. This journey has been so long, and the man I've become today is just testament to her loyalty to me over the years. You know, she's stuck around me, and she saw something in me, obviously, that I didn't. So, obviously, glad that she stuck around. Buying her a car and getting her a property was probably, you know, it feels so good to do that for someone that was there when you had nothing. I'm actually going to do another whole vlog talking about the tests and trials that me and her had with our relationship during the course of the street life, and, you know, all of the prison antics and all this stuff, because just to give a lot of aspiration. I know not everyone that watches my stuff has a partner, but for all you younger fellas that have partners, I know that it's hard for you guys to find wisdom online, because especially all the rubbish you can see online, there's so much content to consume on the internet these days, and I want to make sure that I'm leading you guys with light and making sure that you guys are becoming the men you need to be to lead your partners and also your kids, you know. But yeah, lad, that's all for today. I know that one was a bit longer, but love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Hey, brother, look ahead.